BRAINY presents Why We Yearn for the Past, the Nostalgia Glitch. Have you noticed that old songs suddenly hit harder than new ones? Do you experience random memories surfacing seemingly out of nowhere? Perhaps even ordinary moments from years ago start to glow in a way they never did while they were happening. This raises the question, if the past wasn't extraordinary at the time, why does it feel so powerful now? Most people assume this means they're missing something they lost, that life used to be better, simpler, or just more meaningful. But if nothing truly special was happening back then, the pull you feel now can't be about the past itself. It has to be about how your mind is processing the present. To understand why we yearn for the past, we first need to understand how the brain actually remembers life. The brain's time machine. That sentimental ache for the past is more than just a feeling. It's a full-blown neurological event. When you run into a nostalgic trigger, a place, a smell, a song, an old photo, your brain throws a reunion party for different parts of your mind. First up, your hippocampus gets busy. Think of the hippocampus as your brain's personal librarian, in charge of filing and retrieving your life story. It pulls a specific memory file off the shelf. But it doesn't work alone. It teams up with the amygdala, your brain's emotional command center, which slaps all the powerful feelings onto that memory. At the same time, a whole network of other regions, like the prefrontal cortex, lights up. This is the part of your brain that handles self-reflection. It's what connects that memory to your sense of who you are. In addition, your brain's reward system is activated, releasing dopamine, the feel-good chemical. That's why nostalgia literally feels warm and comforting. It's your brain giving you a neurochemical hug. This process is so powerful. It's linked to what psychologists call the reminiscence bump. This is the weirdly common tendency among people, especially those over 40, to have a ton of incredibly vivid memories from their teens and 20s, roughly ages 10 to 30. Why then? Because that's when we're forging our identity. The music, movies, and experiences from that era are more than just memories. They're the building blocks of who we are today. The glitch in the code. Okay, so nostalgia is a coordinated brain function. But here's where we find the glitch. The past you're yearning for isn't completely real. The memories that nostalgia brings up aren't perfect recordings. They're reconstructions, edited and curated by your brain. Your memory is like a Wikipedia page, where you or your brain can go back and edit the entry, often without even realizing it. Every time you recall a memory, you're subtly changing it. And nostalgia is a master editor. It acts like a filter, smoothing over the rough edges and cranking up the volume on the good parts. That's why you remember the laughter at the party, but you forget the awkward argument that happened an hour later. Or you remember the freedom of summer vacation, but forget the weeks of mind-numbing boredom. The brain does this because it wants you to feel connected to life, not crushed by it, which is why the past almost always feels sweeter than it actually was. The purpose of the glitch. So if our nostalgic memories aren't totally accurate, what's the point? Well, the nostalgic glitch isn't necessarily a bug. Think of it as a feature. An evolutionary tool that serves a deep psychological purpose. Sure, it reminds us about the good old days, but it's also a resource that can help us face the future. One of its main jobs is to build and maintain our identity. Life is a constant stream of change, right? The person you are today is different from who you were 10 years ago. Nostalgia is the thread that ties all these different versions of yourself together. By remembering key moments from your life story, you reinforce your sense of a continuous self. It reminds you where you came from, which helps you figure out where you're going. Nostalgia is also a deeply social emotion. When we feel lonely, our brain often serves up memories of past connections, like family holidays, inside jokes with old friends, or moments of pure belonging. This makes us feel less isolated. In other words, by wrapping us in comfort and meaning, nostalgia gives us the strength to push through difficult times. Cognitive energy conservation. When the brain becomes overloaded, it automatically looks for shortcuts. Familiarity is one of the most reliable ones. This is why people rewatch old shows instead of starting new ones. Why certain songs feel comforting, no matter how many times you've heard them. Why even places you didn't love at the time start to look appealing in hindsight. Familiar experiences require less mental effort. They don't need interpretation, adjustment, or vigilance. In moments of cognitive fatigue, nostalgia actually helps conserve energy. The comfort of certainty. There's a physical reason why nostalgia tends to intensify during stressful periods. The past feels safer because nothing can go wrong there anymore. It already happened, and you know the ending. Your nervous system relaxes around closed chapters. Predictability calms the brain, even when the memories themselves weren't perfect. When life feels unstable or overwhelming, your mind instinctively reaches for environments it already understands. This is why nostalgia often shows up when you're exhausted, burned out, or uncertain about what's next. It's a form of self-regulation. The dark side of the glitch. Just like any powerful tool, nostalgia has a dark side too. When we get stuck in the past, it can turn into a nostalgia trap. Instead of being a source of strength, it becomes a cage. Getting too lost in nostalgia can be linked to depression and general unhappiness with the present. If we're constantly painting the past as some perfect era that can never be matched, today will always feel like a disappointment. This can lead to stagnation, where we get so fixated on reliving the glory days that we stop growing and trying new things. We stop looking toward the future because we're too busy trying to recreate yesterday. This can create a dangerous cycle. When you feel down, you might retreat to nostalgia for comfort. But if that only reinforces the idea that your best days are behind you, it can leave you feeling even more sad and hopeless. It becomes a form of rumination, an unhealthy fixation on what's already gone. The key is balance. Nostalgia is healthy when it's a bridge connecting your past to your present and future. But when that bridge becomes a permanent home, it cuts you off from the forward momentum of life. At the end of the day, that bittersweet pull of the past is something we all feel. Nostalgia is wired into us. It's how we make sense of our lives, find continuity, and cope with uncertainty. The real challenge is to take that energy we pour into looking backward and use it to build something better now. Because one day, we might look back on this exact moment and call today the good old days. I'm curious, what triggers nostalgia for you? Share your thoughts and comments below. If this video resonated with you, give it a like and share it with someone who might also relate. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching,